Day 13, the descent from Plampraz and Chamonix. Boy, today is jam-packed with all kinds of good stuff. You know what, I just watched it again, and jam-packed might be a little bit generous. Anyway, the rest of what I'm about to say stands, I think. I tried to get it down under an hour, but then I realized I'm not really doing this for you. Hold on, let me say that in a cooler way. Fuck you. Speaking of which, during the editing process, I was asking myself, why do I want to keep certain things? Why do I want to cut certain things? Because what I've learned from this trip is that it isn't about you. I give you too much authority. So what you think is best, as confident as you may be, you're no more likely to be right than I am. Probably less likely. So fuck you. So I kept things that I think make it enjoyable for me to watch, and that if you have the patience to sit down and enjoy the hour and 10 minutes or whatever the video is, then you're gonna learn something from it. I go all back and forth about whether or not I'm happy with the wallet. Like, I'll say, oh yeah, I'm so glad I've lost my wallet, and then go, hold on, let me just look one more place. Get salty about people for not being whatever I consider to be nice. I lament the way that we discuss things, and that's one of the biggest pieces of today. That's why it's jam-packed with goodness. And then I think about that as I scale or hike down a pretty difficult path. But oh boy, so that's a good one. 8:47 is the video, and that's where I'm really just exploring, like, why are we so fucked? Why can't we discuss anything? Anyway, oh, and then also there's the whole, what do I call it? The future fantasy or something like that, or the future technique, which is a way to put things into perspective. Yeah. So yeah, today I'm excited about today. I don't know, it's a good day. The irony that day 13 is focused both on what I talk about in video 872, which is why we can't discuss things, and also what you see in the next montage, and then also in some of my comments previously. Well, indeed, it was lost on me, that irony. I didn't see that until now when I was looking at the video renumbering it, because, of course, it's not video 847 anymore, it's video 872. That irony was entirely lost on me. Although it seems paradoxical that I talk about how important it is to learn from each other, and also what I am trying to learn, which is to not learn from other people, it actually isn't, because there's an important balance that needs to be struck. You can't listen to everybody, which is what I learned on my trip. But you've got to listen to somebody, which is also why in video 872, I talk about these experts that represent the purple and yellow. Anyway, watch, and I hope that makes it clear. If it doesn't, fuck you. No, fuck you if you think that you're dumb. Fuck you. Screw you, you're stupid. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I mean, no, fuck you. Fuck me. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, don't care what you think. Fuck you for saying that. Fuck you. Fuck you, what do I owe you? Nothing. Fuck you. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you so much. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Kerouac was cursing and cursing and fuck you. I don't need to explain it. Fuck you. Fuck you so much. And you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you, I'm going home. Fuck what you're thinking. The haters gonna hate. Fuck you. Alright, good morning. Yeah, this is helicopter here. Let's change and pee and pack. Actually, we don't really have anywhere to go, because we gotta go check with the restaurant. So I guess we should just chill here and charge our phones and read a bit. Okay, that's when we can go home. When we're actually getting work done. When we're writing stories, when we're writing essays. When we've demonstrated the belief that we are going to do it, that we're going to achieve what we want to achieve. Great things, achieve great things. Yeah, once we put it into practice. So we broke down the tent. 1, because it was hot. 2, so as not to damage the grass anymore. Let it get its sunlight. Sweet, sweet sunlight. Now we're gonna go to the restaurant and read until someone arrives. Or maybe the cooks have already arrived, I don't know. And we're gonna be like, yo, give me my wallet. And they're gonna be like, what fucking wallet are you talking about? Asshat. Okay, cool. and then we'll know that the adventure has changed. So it looks like it's officially gone. I've asked all the businesses in the area. No wallet, which means a new kind of adventure. Whoop, whoop. Could go home, but nope. Fuck you for saying that. Actually, you can say that. That's fine. It doesn't faze me. But I've got a world to save, and I've got a lot of work to do on myself, and I'm not gonna do it at home alone, so gotta stay out. So we are now doing a complete search of my bag, or we're about to, but first I want to say, I don't know that I can make people more moral. As I was saying to Steve when he was talking about greed and capitalism, I can make them more consistent with their morals, you know? First of all, religion is a big reason why people are immoral, right? Like with gay rights, and in the past with lots of other things. I don't think people use religion to justify racism. Rethinking our beliefs would probably lead to the removal of religion. Already you've got some more morality there. And then just general ways that we justify our bad behavior. If we're forced to think critically, if we're forced to be skeptical of ourselves, we'll see the errors in our ways, like I do quite often, I think. You know, maybe that person who picked up my wallet thought,
he's an asshole. This guy is an asshole, so it's okay if I steal his wallet. Oh shit, I don't really know him. Maybe he did some asshole thing, but I don't really know him. God damn it.
or, you know.
I deserve it, he doesn't. Oh shit, but I don't really know. No, but I guess it's, oh shit.
You know what I mean? I don't love the process of searching, because that means if we don't find it, then it's definitely gone. So we're taking a water break, putting it off a little bit. No more stalling. Let's look real good. It's official. I've got no wallet. Maybe I should lecture in the street about the brain or something, about the unconscious. Could prepare a little lecture. That's how I can make a little bit of money. Let's check my activity on my French card. Oh yeah, there's this adorable kid. And every time he sees like a grasshopper, he starts screaming at his dad.
I see one! I see one! Hurry, hurry! Come, hurry, hurry! I see one! Hurry! Daddy, 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 hurry!
His dad will be like right behind him and just keep screaming.
Catch it or take a photo!
But there was one that landed actually here. And so it's like, look, one landed here. And he's like,
Well, I think it'll jump away if I touch it, but let's touch it, let's touch it. Oh my god! It flew!
the last charge is from the 22nd, so that's good. That's when I got some fruit. Still have 2 of those apples. So what the fuck is somebody doing with it? This is what I was thinking earlier. Maybe somebody took it down thinking if they turn it in up here, somebody who realizes once they get down is gonna have to come back up. But wouldn't they tell the restaurant? Anyway, I mean, let's say you don't speak French. You would still say something, wouldn't you? What kind of just a minimal effort person picks up a wallet? What does a minimal effort person do? Because if somebody who's good looks the person up on Facebook. So let's see. Messenger. Blessings for you. Give it back to people you most want God to bless, including me. No. Let's see. Message request, none. So what a bum-ass thief. There was no money in it, in euros or dollars. You just throw it away? Oh boy. I mean, once they realized the money was all in other currencies. Let's say you're older. You don't think to check the Facebook. Pick it up, don't speak French, you decide.
Okay, I'm just gonna take it down there, and I've done my good deed.
Alright, it's possible. So we'll head down there soon, check that out. Where would you turn it in though? Tourism office, I guess. Would have been good to have shaved before the trip, so we can see the progression. I just had a thought. 2016 is when I started my job at Quilt and started having all these issues with people. The assistant manager, he kept saying,
T'es grave toi, ami, t'es grave toi.
It would always be after I would, I don't know, after I would do something that was socially awkward or something frowned upon socially maybe. So I joined the Paris chapter of the HOOTA Society. And the first dinner I go to, one of the guys, it's his turn to order, but he's still deciding. So I think I said, oh, well, I guess you can just take his order, pointing at the next person who's clearly ready. And he goes,
Ah, mais t'es grave toi.
I was like, oh man, I'm grave. Why did that affect me at all? That was 2.5 years ago. Why did that affect me at all? Okay, he thinks I'm grave. I don't even know how to translate that for you. It's almost like a light version of you're a piece of work. Okay, he thinks that. In some ways I might be, but also his truth doesn't really matter to me, right? Yeah. So I broke their one of their Perrier chairs. But I'm not the first one to break one. I don't want to be the first one to break two. I'm excited for this part of the adventure this weekend. I don't know what they keep looking at that. Yeah. For once in my life, I truly don't have my parents' safety net. Not that it's even that safe, but I could buy stuff with their card, even though it was probably just putting them more into debt. I don't think they're very good with money. But for once in my life, I don't have that. I have no choice. I actually have zero. I've never truly had zero. I truly have zero. So we're charging my batteries. Yeah, let's just sit and read. One cool thing is that we haven't watched any Netflix. So let's read for a bit and then head down and see whether my wallet's down there. I feel a bit bad about smiling, about having nothing. A bit bad just because it may give the impression that I think it's fun in general to have nothing. No, I mean, I don't even know what that's like, but I'm assuming no. I'm assuming it fucking sucks, and I'm assuming that there are a lot of people who would be lucky to be able to smile that they had nothing. I still have good, clean fruit, access to it. I can ask for it. So I'm traveling in places where I can ask other people for help. I have a filtration system. I have a whole backpack of stuff, so I don't have nothing. I have an apartment, but I am still happy to have no money to fall back on. Not sure why. I guess because of the struggle that will ensue. I'm just so tired of lying in my bed comfortably and watching Netflix. I need to force myself out of it. You know, I say,
So don't watch Netflix.
well, you're lucky enough to have that kind of prefrontal cortex, that kind of not only willpower, but also something meaningful to focus on instead. And whether it's because of the ADHD, because of not believing myself or what, it hasn't felt meaningful enough, I guess, to occupy my time. The stuff that's supposed to be occupying my time. So I want to shake it up a bit, and that's why I'm happy to have no money. I hope that was a fair explanation. So I'm standing here, barrier, Descent. I'm thinking about throwing my apple, and I'm thinking about, well, there's a trail down there, in which case the apple core might hit someone. And I was thinking about how steep this is. A great deal of that distance is vertical. I'm just looking at those hills and thinking about that. Imagine somebody rolling down a mountainside. I imagine someone jumping off a cliff, like in movies, whatever. I went back to think about rolling down. I thought about how these barriers are here, and I imagined it without the barriers. Wouldn't be that big of a deal. Then I thought, oh no, but there's so many children. Maybe they see the grass and they just want to play. Then they fall. And it's cool how the barriers are made of wood rather than having, 10-foot high metal fencing. They could have gotten the wood from just here, anywhere. Thought about chopping down trees. Imagine that. I have no idea whether hippie would say this. It doesn't matter though. I just imagined it and it led to my next thought. Imagine some hippie saying,
Oh, it's ridiculous that they're chopping down trees to form this man-made barricade.
whatever. But then, of course, they wouldn't be happy either if they had, transported this metal mine and then transported up this hill, this metal for the barricade. Oh, so then I was imagining an article being written in a conservative journal saying,
You can never please SJWs or hippies.
I didn't think about this before, but like another example would be, they would say something silly like,
Women want the door held for them, but they also want to be treated equally. These the liberal left-wing causes just cannot be satisfied.
and then this is what matters. Okay, so I've just given the context. I imagined an article making some statement, sharing some opinion, such as, for instance, that hippie, SJW, left-wing liberals can never be pleased because their desires are contradictory. I don't know.
They want us to be able to take care of the poor, and yet also keep letting in immigrants that end up on welfare and limiting the amount of money that we can give to the domestic poor.
I imagine then someone writing a response to that, explaining how it's not actually a contradiction. Maybe, although a lot of liberals would be like,
Oh, let them in. Let's help them. Let's help everybody.
liberals don't know how to say no. I've never heard an SCW or hippie or whatever say,
And then at some point we need to cut it off.
or,
We'll only give this much.
they just want to say yes to everything. But imagine somebody giving an actual argument saying,
Hang on. We want to let immigrants in for a very practical reason. One reason is that it's sort of good global karma, contributing to other countries, helping other countries, and that helps us economically in the future. We've got allies. Because if they were struggling with a terrorism problem or civil war or whatever, and we took some of their citizens, they might be happy. Secondly, we're not letting in people who are going to mooch. I mean, some of them are, sure, but by and large, the numbers support the idea that letting in more people actually helps our economy. It's going to include a lot of skilled laborers, and then that's going to help us support people that are disadvantaged with mental health issues or, whatever, laziness, whatever circumstance, and then they got addicted to something, they haven't been able to get out, so we can support them, feed them, keep them alive. Or anybody not being able to afford to stay alive, we can help them stay alive.
so then the liberal person says a lot. Then the conservative person responds. Can you imagine if no corners were cut, no cheap tricks, no cheating, just like, here's the information that justifies why we think this, and where you're wrong about what we think. Here it is. Now the conservative response.
Okay, so I hear that. So I guess I was wrong to think that you wanted to just let anybody in. But the thing is that according to this study, you think that a financially worthwhile portion of them are skilled workers, but actually it's this, that, and the other.
So then let's just say it's a short response. Maybe they discuss the study, they go back and forth. Or maybe the liberal just says,
Okay, you're right. That study shows that. But a lot of them are children, which is why they're not considered skilled workers, but they're children, and when they have better opportunities here, they can be able to grow up and be skilled workers, thinkers, etc.
and they go back and forth like that. When somebody points out that the other person was wrong correctly, they're able to back it up, then that person stops saying that shit. Can you imagine? Inside of like 5 years, one of the sides would have to stop saying stupid shit. Both of them would. Can you imagine a fucking world like that? Okay, I know that I need to save you. I'm in the world. Can you imagine a world like that where it wasn't the same talking points, the same facts spewed by a single side for decades to try to support a certain belief with no sort of real interaction, and all the interaction is so cheap, you know? It's like,
Oh, you just want to let absolutely anybody in and pay for anybody with imaginary money.
Well, you want to just reject everybody and you want to be rich.
and then we just say that to each other for decades and decades. Can you imagine the alternative? Holy fuck. Can you imagine being on the purple team versus the yellow team, okay? Can you imagine just the purple side makes a claim. It's a rallying cry for the people who support it. And then the yellow side responds, and then the fans of the purple side say,
You know what? We actually can't say that anymore because the yellow side had a really good response. And our big thinkers, our big writers, our journalists haven't actually come up with their response. So we need to hit the brakes for a second. We need to stop believing so certainly so someone can come up with a good response.
here's what you might be wondering, because here's what I'm wondering right now. How do you know it's a good response? Maybe you come up with a perfectly good response, but the other side is just like rejecting your response. And you're like, no, I've settled the question, look. And everybody's like, oh, it's an unanswered question because they just said this. And you're like, no, but that's a bad thing. Well, that's the thing. The world would have to be more critical, more skeptical, more intelligent, etc. Imagine if the whole world were like the scientific world, where someone posts an article, Dr. Purple posts an article, Dr. Yellow responds, and then we're like, oh, we trust both of these guys pretty much. They did research. Okay, this is a complicated issue, because that's where it's at right now. When you look at any scientific issue, they're allowed to be presented as, it's still heavily debated in the scientific community, they'll say. So some people think this because of this, and some people think that because of that, and so we need more tests in order to sort it. Can you imagine if it was just like, that's what's happening in the gay rights issue would never actually be a debatable issue. The Muslim ban. I think that actually is a fairly debatable issue, especially if that's not really what it is. So it's presented as a contentious issue, or wait, how is it? Scientific. This issue of not a vaccine, because that's also not debated. Let's say the etiology of ADHD or something is a I don't know what I'm contended. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, can you imagine if it said,
In the community, this is a highly contended issue because some people say this for this reason, some people say that, and we need to do more philosophical and moral thinking in order to sort of get to the bottom of it.
and even in philosophy papers and in science papers and articles, you'll see scientists and the philosophers will say,
Here's what I think, but here are some objections that people have had.
and sometimes they'll respond in the article to those objections. You see that like a lot in philosophy papers. Not that I've read many, but yeah. Can you imagine if that was what it was like in the opinion section of The Guardian or the New York Times or WAPO or whatever else? If it was,
So here's what it seems to me based on these reasons, but other people disagree and they've had these objections, and I have these counter objections to their objections.
what a world that would be. You just wouldn't have the same stupid arguments in cars where it's like,
Oh, here's what I think.
it'd be like,
Well, you saw what the latest person on your side said, right? They haven't quite responded to our response yet.
and they're both being critical and skeptical of self. They're not cheating and using tricks because we've learned the logical fallacy, so we would immediately know if one of the sides, and as soon as a side, purple or yellow, uses some kind of a trick to make their point, appealing to pathos or just any kind of fallacy, whatever, disqualified. And you consider that the response from the other team is the sort of the closest thing to the truth or to a valuable answer so far. I was reading this article, in The Guardian actually, an op-ed
about Boris's election. At some point, I had to stop because it was so stupid. I had to work so hard to try to figure out the good reasons for why this is a catastrophe from the stupid reasons for why it's a catastrophe, you know? His appearance, the fact that he had trouble clapping or something. There's just so much bullshit. Immediately that should be disqualified. Can you imagine if that person were shamed for that, right? That were not an article, they were shared, they were just shamed.
Wait a minute, we're trying to discuss a serious topic here. Why are you cheating? Why are you referring to his appearance?
And so on. You know, I mean, how about how often Trump is referred to as an orange clown? You know, anybody who starts an article with that, disqualified.
I want to know more about his policies and why, you know, and the problems with those.
So we're charging the batteries, that's why we're not leaving just yet. It takes 2 hours to get down there. We shouldn't stay here for longer than like 2 hours. So we gotta get down there. Make sure the shops are still open, ask. I guess we'll ask at the tourist info place. I meant get a ride to Italy. Karma works in mysterious ways. Remember how almost a year ago, a guy was stealing a backpack. Italian guy to whom belonged the backpack tackled him, got his backpack back, and then had no more business with the guy. I see the guy walking. I was about to intervene or whatever needed to happen because I didn't know what was happening. And then I see that it's finished and, you know, the Hungarian guy is leaving. The Italian guy's yelling at him. Italian guy's happy because he got what was stolen from him, which makes sense. That's where his head was at. But I keep my eye on the Hungarian guy, and I see the Hungarian guy's got 2 phones in his pocket. So what do? I go and I stop him. 2 fat security guards just happen to be sitting on a bench taking a break from the last 100 meters of walking. 100 meters is actually a lot farther than I wanted to say. Still, a break after 100 meters is kind of fun. They're over there. I'm talking to the guy. He gave me one of the phones or something. I don't remember what I was doing. Prove to me that this shit is yours. I don't know. Hungarian security guys come over. The thief takes them back to his tent, and passports and iPads are recovered and a whole bunch of stuff. And these Irish guys were really happy. And then this year, I get my laptop and my wallet stolen. No one notices. No one says anything. Boo-hoo! Do you get karma from suffering as well? I'm not saying that I deserve karma for that, but does that include it? Like if somebody's had like a really shit life and they haven't been bad, are they like building up karma? Is karma just like moral or is it also luck? Is I guess my question. Alright, so 1 hour and 34 minutes for Olympians to get to the police station. So it'll take us about 12 hours and 61 minutes. No more phone games. If you want to occupy your mind, you can read. If you don't want to occupy your mind, you can meditate. No more games during the week. No Clash of Clans, no solitaire. If you want to occupy your mind, you can read. If you don't want to occupy your mind, you can meditate. Good. Let's journal that. Just turned off notifications for Clash of Clans. Boom. This is gonna be a new kind of trip. So it's day 12, nope, day 13, and let's get serious. By the way, you know games with people are allowed, right? Socializing is okay. Dad's asking how they can get money to me. They can't. Forget about it. Yesterday, I was sitting right about there, and you know, a lot of people would stand there to get photos there. I'd always offer, take a photo. Wouldn't it be funny if it was one of those times that I got out of my seat, my wallet slipped out, wanted to take the photo, sat back down, somebody had nicked my wallet. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I just want to keep my eye out for the good I can do. And I lost my damn wallet. That's good. It's good for me probably, right? It's gonna be good. Dad asked, how can we send you money? Oh, I already told you this. I asked 2 tables, I told them about the wallet and said, you know, if there's any food you don't finish, I'll happily take it. The American kid didn't even look up. The French couple didn't understand, so I repeated it in French. And anyway, so I have some fries. So that's good. Have a little bit of a breakfast. That's what kind of person you have to be to not even look up and say, okay, understood. Just nod while you got your head down like this. Cool. I mean, I'm speaking your language with your accent, but I guess I'm not one of you. I don't know. There we go. They didn't end up wasting any food. But the older guy is telling a story, and I heard him use the word racist. He said an African-American guy who would grab his chest like he was having a heart attack and say,
I'm coming, Elizabeth, I'm coming.
Sanford and Sons. Well, I didn't actually know that until I Googled it. I thought maybe he was gonna say something real good, like,
Probably considered racist these days, but Negroes are the worst.
but no, unfortunately. He even said African American, which is how you know that he doesn't really have any black friends. We've done our final search. Now we will go leave our phone number at a caisse, and then we head back down to go to the police station. I left my phone number. We're gonna go check with Telecabine again. And then, you know what? I think we're gonna go back up to where we slept. It'd be stupid not to check. Jesus, I'm already out of breath. And my phone's overheating. Let's check this hill. Let's retrace our steps. And then we can also ask at that office, whatever it is. I wonder whether rewatching my videos would give a clue. Well, I guess if you saw something, I probably also saw something when I was editing. So, we see the family getting ready to say hello. And we say hello. Maybe even we walk up there. So let's do a loop-de-loop there. Probably walked up here. Now what? Probably kept going. Definitely walked up here. Over here, I had to do a lot of bending over to get the pegs in. Alright, you know what? If I see something black, I'll just start recording again. Oh yeah, remember when I jumped? It might have been over there. Alright, I retraced all my steps. I think I've done my bit. Let's just ask people working this place, and then we really gotta go and head to the police station, because shit, I don't even know that we're gonna make it on time now. So now we've given it our best effort. Let's go to Chamonix and then Italy. This is gonna have me do a super difficult path. But if that's the way to Chamonix, then that's the way it'll have to be. If that's the way to Chamonix, then that's the way it'll have to be. Oh, slide, good. Oh no. Oh no, that won't work. No, that won't work. No, it won't. Because that only takes you part of the way. Should have enough water. Let's just go. Fuck me, dude. There's only one way down from here. Great. Hopefully the battery on this doesn't die, and hopefully I get to a computer to do a data transfer ASAP, and you can just see the whole exciting journey. If I die, I'll also be able to do my last words. And do not forget, we need to find Bella's shoe. The GoPro would be better. So let's get out the GoPro. My GoPro doesn't even fucking work. It won't turn on. Could, attach this to the other glasses. Man, I can't even tell whether this is what the map is saying, but we didn't see an alternative. And there's no way it wants us to go down there. So I decided to put them on. This shit keeps breaking though. Broke more. Anyway, I decided to put them on just because luck. You know what I mean? You have to see this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die actually. So let's go. You're supposed to go down this shit backwards? I actually don't understand. Ugh. 2 hours, my ass. Just keep an eye out for a good stick for Belle. You could trip on this shit. Oh, oh. Watch me fall. I'm trying to get you a shoe. I can't even fucking turn around. Another foot. Pretty flimsy. Temporary shoe. I don't know what good a crooked shoe is. Had the brilliant idea to call. Okay, so they're not taking messages. Don't know why I can't get it out of the ground, but that's for you, Nicole. Well, Guess it's not much of a heart. The real heart will be for the girl that studies neuroscience. Let's go.
There's a trail down.
Nice mountains, huh?
A great deal of that
world.
somebody rolling down a mountainside.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? What a world. Can you imagine? That world. Can you imagine a world like that? That would be. I imagined an article making some statement, sharing some opinion. I imagine then someone writing a response. To that, explaining how liberals don't know how to say no. But imagine somebody giving an actual argument. Then the conservative person responds. Can you imagine if no corners were cut, no cheap tricks, no cheating? Can you imagine? Just like, here's the information that justifies why we think this, and where you're wrong about what we think.
So I hear that. So I guess I was wrong according to this study.
Maybe they discuss the study, they go back and forth.
Okay, you're right.
Can you imagine?
That study shows that.
And they go back and forth like that. When somebody points out that the other person was wrong correctly, they're able to back it up, then that person stops saying that shit. Can you imagine? Inside of like 5 years, one of the sides would have to stop saying stupid shit. Both of them would. Can you imagine a world like that? Okay, I know that I need to save you. I mean, the world. I imagined an article. I imagine then there wasn't the same talking points, the same facts.
I got you. Ooh.
Spewed by a single side for decades to try to support a certain belief with no sort of real interaction, and all the interaction.
Okay. Not bad.
By a single side for decades to try to support a certain belief with no sort of real interaction, and all the interaction is so cheap. And then we just say that to each other. To try to support a certain belief with no sort of real interaction, and all the interaction is so cheap. And then we just say that to each other. Okay, I know that I need to say decades. Can you imagine the alternative? Holy fuck. Can you imagine if there wasn't the same talking points, the same facts spewed by a single...
Oh, pardon. Je t'ai pas vu, excuse-moi.
By a single side for decades to try to support a certain belief with no sort of real interaction.
So I hear that. So I guess I was wrong.
Okay, you're right. That study
Can you
shows
imagine the alternative? Holy fuck. Can you imagine being on the purple team versus the yellow team, okay? Can you imagine just the purple side makes a claim. It's a rallying cry for the people who support it. And then the yellow side responds, and then the fans of the purple side say,
You know what? We actually can't say that anymore because the yellow side had a really good response. And our big thinkers, our big writers, our journalists haven't actually come up with their response. So we need to hit the brakes for a second. We need to stop believing so certainly so someone can come up with a good response.
Here's what you might be wondering, because here's what I'm wondering right now. How do you know it's a good response? Maybe you come up with a perfectly good response, but the other side is just like rejecting your response. And you're like, no, I've settled the question, look. And everybody's like, oh, it's an unanswered question because they just said this. And you're like, no, but that's a bad thing. Well, that's the thing. The world would have to be more critical, more skeptical, more intelligent, etc. Imagine if the whole world were like the scientific world, where someone posts an article, Dr. Purple posts an article, Dr. Yellow responds, and then we're like, oh, we trust both of these guys pretty much. They did research. Okay, this is complicated. It's still heavily debated in the scientific community, they'll say. Can you imagine if it said,
in the community, this is a highly contended issue. Because some people say this for this reason, some people say that.
Imagine if it said,
in the community, this is a highly contended issue. Because some people say this for this reason, some people say that, and we need to do more philosophical and moral thinking in order to sort of get to the bottom of the thinking.
How do you know it's
in order to sort of get to the bottom of it?
Come up with scientists and the philosophers, they'll say,
here's what I think, but here are some objections that people have had.
And sometimes they'll respond in the article to those objections. Yeah, you see that like a lot in philosophy papers. Can you imagine if that was what it was like in the opinion section of The Guardian or the New York Times or WAPO or whatever else? If it was...
So here's what it seems to me based on these reasons, but other people disagree and they've had these objections, and I have these counter...
Okay, sons of a bitch. Okay, I guess it's the tree then for us. What? Are you serious? Hang on, doll, I got you. I can't even fall into that tree because if I miss it. No, you're staying with me, don't worry about it. No, hold on. Alright, let's go. Okay, good. What's this? No! Might be an issue for you, Belle. Okay. I mean, no, it would be pretty bad, actually. Please don't slip. I could do the dawn wall, no problem.
So we need to hit the brakes for a second. We need to stop believing so certainly, so someone can come up with a good response.
Here's what you might be wondering, because here's what I'm wondering. How do you know it's a good response? Maybe you come up with a perfectly good response, but the other side is just like rejecting your response. And you're like, no, I've settled the question, look. And everybody's like, oh, it's an unanswered question because they just said this. And you're like, no, but that's a bad thing. Well, that's the thing. The world would have to be more critical, more skeptical, more intelligent, etc. Imagine if the whole world were like the scientific world, where someone posts an article, Dr. Purple posts an article, Dr. Yellow responds, and then we're like, oh, we trust both of these guys pretty much. They did research. Okay, this is a complicated. It's still heavily debated in the scientific community, let's say.
Fuck.
There's a whole town. Nice mountains, huh? A great deal of that. What a world that would be. You just wouldn't have the same stupid arguments.
Oh, here's what I think.
Be like, well, you saw what the latest person on your side said, right? They haven't quite responded to our response yet.
And they're both being critical and skeptical of self. They're not cheating and using tricks because we've learned the logical fallacies. We would immediately know if one of the sides, and as soon as a side, purple or yellow, uses some kind of a trick to make their point, appealing at pathos or just any kind of fallacy, whatever, disqualified. And you consider that the response from the other team is the sort of the closest thing to the truth or to a valuable answer so far. The fact that he had trouble clapping or something, there was just so much bullshit. Immediately that should be disqualified. Can you imagine if that person were shamed for that? Right? That were not an article, that were shared, they were just shamed.
Wait a minute. We're trying to discuss a serious
Remember, that's not a landing. Don't try to adjust your foot too much.
topic here. Why are you cheating? Why are you referring to his appearance
And so on. How about how often Trump is referred to as an orange clown? Anybody who starts an article with that, disqualified.
I want to know more about his policies and why, and the problems with those.
Now for the exhausting winding trail. See that? You can see that bit there. Actually, not at all. I remember parts. I haven't done them yet. Yeah, nice though. That's where we gotta go. Now I think the obstacle course bits are done. Can't wait to get down to that river. All right. Oh, wow.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a fucking world like that?
Oh, I can't wait. They said they might have it. Laurence Francis. Hein? C'est ça! Ah, c'est super! Ah, parce que en fait, je voyage, du coup, si je l'ai perdu, j'étais un peu foutu, quoi. Ok, super. Du coup, là, je descends de la montagne. Vous fermez à quelle heure? Ah, ok, du coup, faut que je... j'allais repartir ce soir, mais c'est pas grave, j'attends jusqu'à le matin. Ok, très bien, merci beaucoup, monsieur. Au revoir. Oh, cool. Well, that kind of sucks, obviously. One, because somebody was stupid enough to not say anything to the restaurant. Maybe they just forgot. Two, because they were stupid enough not to look me up on Facebook. It's amazing that... Not amazing. I mean, it's the normal thing to do to turn it in, so I'm not going to give them a kudos for that. But thank you for putting in that effort and doing that. Of course, it would have been easier to just give it to the restaurant for you, but whatever. It would have even been easier just to look it up on Facebook, but whatever. Let's call mom and dad. Yeah. Let's take a seat. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it's at the police station. Yeah, I guess, although it would have been kind of fun if I had to go without a wallet. So,
You know what? That doesn't sound like
it's kind of a win-loss situation, kind of a 50-50.
Francis,
It's like a compromise.
Francis, so the police station is down in the town.
Yeah, it's down there.
Okay. And so why didn't they just give it to their son like you said that you had already gone down
Yeah,
without giving it? So how'd you find out?
I called the police station.
Good thinking. And is the credit cards in there?
He said there are 2 credit cards. Maybe one of them's missing, I don't know, or maybe he just didn't see it. He said there are 2, because I remember I tucked it in kind of deep. So he said there are 2 credit cards, a European health insurance card, a picture of a beautiful young lady, and an Illinois driver's license.
Oh, hot diggity dog. Oh, that is so wonderful. That is so wonderful.
I mean, I really am disappointed. Maybe I'll just have them hang on to it, because, they keep things for 1 year and 1 month. It says on the website they don't destroy anything for a year and a month.
Francis, I don't know how to describe that kind of talking. I don't know how to describe it. It's not funny. It's not anything. The reason you have stuff like that is for security as a backup.
I know, but I think that we can both agree that it would be better if we didn't have that security. And where's your beautiful face?
No, we will not agree that.
Okay.
Oh, you called the police station just asked us. I'm so excited.
All right. I think I'm just going to cut up the cards anyway, just to be on the safe side.
Francis, what was your whole goal for going out there?
To not be able to eat or drink.
You could have stayed home and not eat or drink.
Not be able to.
Well, we're going to cut you off when you get back home, so there you go.
All right, cut me off now, buddy.
No. Francis, that was not anything that you said. You said you wanted to stop smoking. How's that still going well?
Oh, I had one yesterday when I made it up. I was talking to this nice guy and he was smoking next to me, so and I didn't take my medicine yesterday, so we'll blame it on that.
Okay, that's only...
And he looked like Santa Claus. Well, if Santa Claus offered you a gift, what would you do?
I wouldn't take it.
Oh, wow.
Francis, remember you're a non-smoker. Even if you talk to smokers, you
Then you have to have one. Wait, what?
Even if you talk to a smoker or you want to talk to a smoker, do not have a cigarette.
But even just to be polite.
No. Have a piece of gum. Polite will come out in your words and your mannerisms.
Oh, like if I say things like, oh, you look nice today, or, oh, wow, that's quite a career you've had, or may I have a cigarette, just stuff like that, just like small talk.
Not may I have a cigarette for it.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm very uncomfortable. I should head down. Actually, I don't need to head down anymore because they won't be open until 8:30 in the morning.
How much longer will it take you?
Oh, a long time. All right, love you, buddy. I'm going to find a place to camp. Bye.
I could have camped up there again, but fuck going back up there. We'll just find a place in the shade in the woods. I say that because the police station is closing in less than an hour, so I won't be able to get it until like 8:30 tomorrow morning. Just lost her shoe exploring this network, whatever animals built this little network. By the way, we're on the easier part of the two, and then it gets to the easy part where it's just like walking. You know, and that's why I feel like I can't really work on a project with a partner, because I need someone, I need to know whether what I'm saying is stupid or what. But that's why I guess I gotta trust, that's why I have to trust myself. I know that I am intelligent. Hey, people say that. Ow. So yeah, I need to just trust, I need to trust myself unless somebody says otherwise, and then even then maybe. What I like about this new shoe, which we found in the last video, is because it's curved like this, I can actually stop. Nope. Okay, come on, girl. I picked this up from over here using this, so fuck you if you don't believe me. Makeshift selfie stick. Hold on. One thing I used to do if I did poorly in school, like when I was a kid, I had this scene in my mind of Superman at a cafe. He was Clark Kent, and he was at a cafe wearing a blue suit and a red tie. The point of view is from across the street. Well, that's prickly. But it wasn't actually us. We were actually Clark Kent. You know, when I was a kid, because I grew up around pretty much all white people and white males, my future self always looked white. That didn't change until probably within the last decade. Anyhow, maybe even the last 3 years, I don't know. And he was waiting for Lois to have lunch. Either he'd be thinking, or when Lois would arrive, he would say to Lois, they'd be talking about whatever. The point is, they would not be talking about that geography test in 5th grade. And if geography came up, he'd be laughing it off. He'd be like, yeah, I'm a successful journalist now. You know, that couldn't derail me from this. And I've been talking to you about imagining the future where I kept failing and just kept pushing through. That's the T maybe. And then I succeeded and be able to say, you know, I failed a number of times and then I finally got it right. I can also, a third way to apply that, so there's performance, failure, I guess that's the same thing. No. There's marks, there's performance, there's morality, like yeah, I did this terrible thing, but I'm making up for it today, or I made up for it last week. And then there's skepticism. Yeah, all these people were saying that I was wrong, but I just kept working on it and I discovered I was wrong. Or kept working on it, and no, actually it's just, you know how people are, people can get shit wrong and they're so sure. You're always able to talk about the other being wrong, but you have trouble talking about the self being wrong. But that's not what I'm talking about. For me, it's hard for me to say that the person I'm talking to could be wrong in this very moment, despite all of their assurances. I'll talk to people about my quilt stuff, and then for me, like, whatever they say goes. If they say, well, yeah, but blah, 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 then I'm like, oh no, I gotta take this seriously. We together decided that people like quilt are stupid. Oh shit, quilt. Me and the person I'm talking to decided that people at quilt are stupid, so then I trust this person to not be. The point is, you gotta put in perspective. So I gotta see myself, of course, I gotta imagine myself a little bit older than Clark Kent. Clark Kent was probably about my age now. Yeah, maybe even a man with kids. Can't say the fantasy. You know, whatever. The future exercise. Whatever. So anyway, so I imagined myself with kids. Yeah, and I thought this, and everybody thought I was wrong, but I stayed dedicated because I had no reason to believe them or to think what they thought. That's why we have this beautiful house, or that's why we are renowned, or that's why I'm raising you as well as I'm raising you. Water just seems like the most delicious, bestest thing in the whole wide world right now. I was thinking about how I'll organize the videos I'm gonna post, these videos, and I imagined that I meet someone like, hey, use my computer, my Final Cut Pro. I'm just like, wait, what? And I just sit here for 2 days working on Final Cut Pro, just unlimited supply of water, and they're like, yeah. And that just sounds so good to me. And I was like, wait, that's so silly. That's never what I would have asked for. It weren't the fact that I'm so thirsty. I still have water, but I just can't wait to get down that river. How much farther we got? I had no idea. I gotta write down the full list of people so I can mention you all in my videos. But I'll just say to the top 2, Cairo and Steven, top 2 donors, which this isn't about who's the nicest, because I don't know what the percentage of disposable income it is, but anyway. But Steven, he's probably is one of the nicest. Top 3 easily, because we haven't even talked in years. He's just such a sweet guy. Anyway, Steven, Cairo, my lovely, beautiful sister, my intelligent, lovely sister. Thank you for this. Hopefully you have seen in the videos that I published how much I've already gained from this, and I haven't even left Francophone regions, so thank you. Put Belle here on the ground for support.
and she went straight through. Okay, so we have a ways to go. You see the path that bends down there? Yeah. There it is. Maybe not. Maybe not. I thought that's where I started this fucking zigzag, but maybe not. Yes, I think, yes. And then Google Maps maybe told me to go up there.
Follow the map and go that way.
And this is where I asked the guy whether he was going to the same place, and he said this is more vertical. And I said, well, I can try. I'm gonna try. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We're here, which means the water's just that way. And I haven't had any water since at least I said the thing about water in that other video. Since at least then. I think I was about to take a sip then. So I think it was well before. Not quite double the time between now and then, but maybe 1.5 times. I don't know what frequency I was making videos. Pretty fucking excited about this river. It's not even a river, actually. It's a small waterfall. I want to go swimming, dude. That's what I really want. But that lake is like 2 hours away, right? After we get some water, we're gonna think about all that shit. Wait, so there were people that were doing that, and then I just joined them. Is there a path down there? Oh no, clearly not, because there's nothing near here. Wait, is that? No, it's a rock. Okay, yeah, no. I remember when I was standing up there somewhere, I remember watching people come from this way here. I think I hear it. I do hear it. Why don't I see the water though? I feel like there's more water than this last time. That's all right. We don't need a whole lake worth of water. There it is, that pile of rocks. Gonna clean our hands. Oh, they don't even look dirty. Anyway, see how wrinkled they are just from sweating on this and whatever. I meant this, when I say this, I meant your handle. I mean your head or whatever. So I wasn't sweating all over you. I love you, Belle. I really think I do. Oh, then again, last person I said I thought I loved him too. That was a huge thing. No, I can't take it back though, can I? And it's okay, I don't think you'll do me dirty like her. You won't think I'm gonna marry you and all that shit. Even when I tell you over and over again I've decided I don't love you. I won't be telling you that. I'm just explaining to them because I thought they might have thought that I told a girl I thought I loved her and then she broke my heart. And that I was saying that was evil of her. Of course that wouldn't be evil. Oh, so maybe I won't be able to dunk my head in like I kept imagining. I'm gonna have to keep going for that. Oh look, yes, I can put my hand in there. All right, I'm gonna enjoy now. I would love some pizza, bit of chocolate, but nope, we've got an apple, and that's it until the morning. God, I wish we had lost that wallet. It made things so much more interesting. Why? For what reason do I want that? I don't know. Just to say I did, but fuck you. What do I owe you? Nothing. We left the waterfall a bit ago, and now we're walking extremely slowly. Not sure why. We're quite full on water though. That could be it. I think we just want to lie down now. Have we not met our move goal for the day? If not, that's ridiculous. Yes, we have. Good. Only 16 minutes of exercise, though. We did not earn those fries. Maybe we won't eat anything tonight, eh? And then we'll have the apple in the morning. Isn't there something about eating apples in the morning? Apples are kind of citric. I don't know whether it's about citrus fruits or whether it's about apples, but isn't there something about that? And yet, people always have, like, apple, glass of water. Healthy people. I wonder whether there's a spot where we could camp, like up there. I think we're gonna take our backpack off and go up and check it out. Let's go check it out. I just realized that even if there is a place, you'd have to get up there and back down with our backpack. Let's just check it out anyway. Nope. Way too slanted, we just roll right down. Speaking of down, there's our backpack. That's the way we came up. That was a bust. So we carry on. Let's have some water though. You know what? The officer didn't mention cash. So maybe they took out all my random cash, threw it on the ground, and then someone else turned it in. That could be what happened. My Turkish lira, my Tunisian dinar, Filipino pesos, Hungarian forints. Oh, what happened to your shoe? Why'd you take your shoe off? Well, let's see. Your must have been on this side. Oh, I hate when you play these games. Bell, I don't see. Let's see. We came down. Backpack was right around here. Baby, come on. I wish this was like Blue's Clues or Dora the Explorer, and you guys could tell me where the shoe is. Do you see it? All right, Belle. No shoe for you. Not until tomorrow, because right now we're looking for where we're gonna sleep. Yep, and that's it. I've looked. All right, you get a temporary shoe because I spoil you, but this isn't even in that far. It's in like a centimeter, so it's probably gonna fall out. I know we're done with Dialas and everything, but remember that that dialer that came up to us when we were sitting there on the bench in the rain trying to sleep. Oh my god. I didn't actually show her to you. I don't even think I mentioned her. But oh man, she was so beautiful. Her face, her eyes, her voice. Oh, beautiful. Maybe she lives in Paris. She said she's not from around here. Because, you know, she just thought she was talking like a homeless person, I think. She like asked me, I thought she was asking me whether I smoke weed. Because I thought she was inviting me over. I said no. And then I was like, what am I doing? She was beautiful. So I look for her and I realized she might be on that bench that's playing the music near me. So I say, hey, was that you that asked me? She goes, yeah. It's like, so why? Why'd you ask? She goes, hold on, I'm coming over. She comes over. She goes, well, just because I'm not from here and we just really wanted to smoke a little bit, so we're just kind of asking everybody. I was like, oh, you were asking whether I was selling. She was like, well, yeah, giving, selling is the same thing. And then she told me to be careful by the trees because trees attract lightning. And then she went on her way. No, we don't actually care whether she lives in Paris. She's not her, just she was very cute and nice. So that way is towards Chamonix, which means we could probably find where we slept, 2 nights ago. Then we could sleep there again, or we can explore around this bend, La Charlanon. So I don't know. What do you feel like? Right now we're just sitting on. So yeah. Being ever skeptical of myself, it occurred to me, I'm going to start that over because I looked at the camera, I looked at myself. Being ever skeptical of myself, it occurred to me a little while ago, and I just told Fabrizio, because I'm sitting down here responding to this text message, that it's possible, because they didn't actually mention cash. Wait a minute, I already told you this, didn't I? So did I say that they might have taken the cash, dumped the wallet, and somebody else found it, maybe even in Chamonix or elsewhere, but just not at the restaurant, just somewhere random, and turned into the police station? Did I say that? So maybe they're not such assets. Did I go that far? What the fuck are those? Oh. That's a possibility. You heard about this fckyou girl? This University of Michigan lady, student, got dethroned. She was, important information. She was Miss Michigan America or whatever, I don't know. And she got dethroned because of some tweets. And it was pretty stupid, the interaction that she had with the CNN host. I mean, she was largely stupid. But then at the end though, the video that I just watched, she made a comment, and it was not a stupid comment, I guess. Most of her comments are stupid and irrelevant. And then they cut the video. Like, that's where they decided to end the edit.
The Western things about Muslim, because there's so many bad things happening in Muslim countries because of these women, and these women are being crucified for not wearing a hijab, and I think that's really, really awful.
Okay, fckyou, thank you for coming on New Day to make your case.
I wonder how that host would have responded. The blonde woman on CNN, the glasses. Why can't the left say,
oh yeah, Islam can be quite the tool for oppression?
Why can't the right say,
oh yeah, cops are out of control?
Like, fuck, dude. And then someone who was representing Miss America allegedly texted Kathy, Miss Zhu. So Miss Zhu had tweeted that most blacks are killed by blacks, okay? That's true, right? Just like most whites are killed by whites, because, communities tend to live together, etc. But then when she posted that, and then somebody from Miss America said something, she said those are just statistics. And then the Miss America woman said that's just a comment with no statistics to back it up. What? First of all, it's not just a comment. It is statistics. Now, are they true statistics? Just look it up before you dethrone her. This girl's stupid and should absolutely be dethroned because she is reckless with her ideas and thinking in like a dangerous way. But how do you say that's a comment with no statistics? Just because it doesn't fit your narrative. You're doing this on both sides, bro. Yeah, CNN tends to have an agenda. Absolutely, dude. And so they will ignore things that don't fit with their narrative. But the right has it too.
I'm just trying to get my team right. It's like Kathy said, fix your own community first. I'm just trying to get my community right, the left. A video that I should do, like a video series, is that I take an article, preferably even a video discussion, because that'd be more entertaining for you. And I just point out all the cheap shit that's being said and how stupid all these conversations are. Is there any sort of reputable news source that has intelligent conversations rather than all this bullshit? I mean, not the BBC, not CNN. You know, they all, I've caught them all doing this, you know, often, and that's what they're sharing on their Facebook. Yeah, sure, it gets them money because it gets them engagement, but actually no, they have to pay per engagement, but it gets them attention and ad money. But oh my god, like I wouldn't mind if, okay, it's okay, some people aren't having the best conversations, but bro, it's everywhere. Where are people having good conversations? Like Ted's cool, but those aren't conversations. Like where can you turn, what TV station or program can you watch and watch people have reasonable conversations about current affairs? No, seriously, really. I mean, I believe it probably exists. I hope it exists. Jesus. But I don't know what it is, so tell me. And the problem remains that it isn't popular enough. And it can be popular. You know, you don't have to use like big words or talk slowly. You can have all your flashing red lights, CNN, or blue lights, Fox, or the blue and white WAPO. You can make it pretty, bro. Whatever channel or program it is, not nearly popular enough. People just aren't getting called out enough for their shit. Oh god, we're so fucking primitive, dude. We're so fucking primitive. In 2019, people are, and when you get some perspective, I don't know what perspective, but just realizing how silly all of it is, you go, holy shit. We think we're this advanced society, and yet we share our opinions with all these cheats and all this cheap shit. Our election debates, our campaigns, our discussions by journalists, there's no respect for truth or logic or reason or evidence or skepticism or imagination. Oh my god. And you look at it, and it's just like, oh, you're such a fucking joke. Oh, humans are such jokes in 2019. We're eating this shit up. We're reading this stupid peddling of agenda and that's you down there. And that looks like modern architecture, that looks nice to you, but not when you realize that we could be totally symbiotic with nature, and you wouldn't be able to tell nature from man-made, and we got buildings up to here maybe, or at least transport, and it'd be shiny and pretty, and we'd be one with nature, right? Rather than just these pathetic shacks within nature. Imagine we could be one with nature. Nature's benefiting from our activity. We're benefiting from its activity. We form a man-made jungle. A man-made, nature-driven jungle. Look, you can imagine whatever you want. But the point is sometimes like a car will look really futuristic until you watch a movie that's like set in the 22nd century or farther, you know? That's what we have to do with this reasoning thing. Imagine the world that I've been talking about today, where people can say, you got me there, you're right there, but blah, blah, blah. And we just rely on statistics rather than rhetoric and false logic. Let's make a video talking about goals, but let's make it 2 separate videos. What should my goals be when I get back? I should have at least one thing that I implement. Something that it can be hard to maintain, but it's a promise to myself that I gotta be able to maintain. You need more examples for the previous thing, don't you? Hold on, do you need more examples for that previous thing? That's what I just realized in my previous video. Do you need more examples about the logic thing? That's what I have to do. You know what we're gonna do tomorrow morning? I'm gonna pull up an article and we're gonna go through it together. I'm gonna pull up that opinion article about Boris Johnson. Anyway, so back to goals. I just realized I left the cap to my water bottle open. When I get back, I want to be able to implement one thing that I absolutely can do. But you know, some days all I do is I just want to, I mean, regardless of my desire, sometimes I just want to, but sometimes it just happens. All I do is I just eat ramen and whatever junk I can find and watch Netflix. And I know that it's gonna be like that again. And that's not about positive thinking. I know that if I don't take my medicine at a certain time or whatever, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for years. You know, it's my Sunday. And sometimes my Sunday is also happens on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Sometimes the week's a lot shorter. What about just like you have to walk to the end of the block? That's it. You just have to get up and walk to the end of the block. Or I don't know. Let's not rush it though. We can figure that out. I was just thinking about going home. But no, I want to finish reading. Although I think I've done a pretty good job with the skepticism thing, still need to figure out what I'm going to do when I get back. And I need to demonstrate that I can do it. Right. Because I could read when I get back. But no, let's read and start writing while we're out. Or maybe I'll write something really great. Maybe, you know? I believe I can write something great, and maybe that'll happen on this trip. And I'll be able to say where I wrote that. It won't be here. Alright, let's go find a place to pitch our tent. Let's stay up here. Now, does this route, this path here, does this go up? Oh my god. Oh, fuck that. Nope, we're not going up. Nope, we're gonna continue down. Yep, we're gonna continue down. Looks like indeed we're going to the same place from the other night. Unless we want to try going down farther and see what we can find. But no, that was a fine place, wasn't it? I think there was like one rock that was bothering us. I don't remember. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit confused. I don't feel like this is the way that we were coming down with Nicole. And I don't feel like we went up this way yesterday. And I don't feel like that looks right. Or is that exactly where we started? In which case I've gotten way too low. I don't know. God damn it. So yeah, we're approaching the area where we changed into shorts yesterday. No, on Monday. Which means we're basically in town. Which means we're not sure where we're gonna sleep. We may walk to go to the lake. This way we can also perhaps wash ourselves. That lake's like an hour and a half away, but maybe we don't have a choice because we're not going back up, that's for sure. We're down basically. Damn. Okay, we'll figure it out once we get down there. Actually, let's run a map. Battery's about to die. All right, let's get down there and then figure out a map to the lake, I guess.
Interesting. So the Petit Balcon Sud is up there, so that's the way that we must have gone. Do I want to walk up there? Fuck me, dude. Because then we could wash ourselves a bit in the river. We gotta run a map. We gotta sit down and run a map. And I can't find that map either now, where the guy pointed at. I started with a C. Hopefully it wasn't Charlanon. All right, let's see. All right, so Lac Sinclair, Lac à l'Anglais. It's only about a 28-minute walk. So I guess if we don't see any along the way, like any fields or whatever, you know, Kerouac saw a field and he asked somebody, "Hey, can I sleep on your land?" You know, oh no, it was a gas station, right? I don't know, lawn in front of me. But all right, so we'll see. So we were on that road there, maybe like right there where the center is. We decided, no, we're not gonna go back down. We can find some land here for sure to sleep. There's a fence there, and there's a house there. I don't know where their land starts, but even right here is a possibility, maybe. But we're just gonna keep going this way. Yeah, we are going up a little bit. Might even go up there. So we'll figure it out. Actually, you know what? See, there's a small stream over there. So I do like the idea of going up here, because maybe we'll have access to the stream. This is lovely land, so maybe we'll do it here. But the stream's back that way, so let's go back that way for a little bit. That field was nice, but I think we're gonna set up somewhere here. I wish we could find the river. We're gonna have to go back down to get it. Let's find somewhere to put our backpack. Something that's not too inclined. This is nice. I just don't want to trample all of that stuff. Oh, whatever. What difference does it make? So this isn't bad. Oh, there'd be so many critters and stuff. Yeah. You know what? Plants are also too high to set up the tent. Or maybe not. I don't know. There'll be things running around us all night. Oh, fuck it. Should we do it? Maybe we should, eh? Shit, where was I? Actually, the water's right there. Where was I? Was I here? Yeah, maybe if we go up a little bit. But I thought I was like sunken in. Okay, this is where I was, right? Yeah, this is where I was. Oh boy. There's gonna be shit running through here. So should I go out to the field or should I challenge myself? Fuck it, dude. Let's try to set up here. Literally, what is the worst that can happen, right? Maybe a couple of ticks, maybe Lyme disease, maybe we lose a finger to something that gets in the tent. That's it. Alright, there you go. Also, there are rabbit droppings near the tent, so we already know those are gonna scare the shit out of us. We just have to keep telling ourselves, oh, it's cute little bunnies. Even when they go, right? Fuck is that? And what's that red dot mean? It means you're friendly, you're nice? Shit, another one. More red dots. Fuck me, dude. So there's the tent, and there's a family that was there that we passed on our way to this whole area. And then I think the mother may have seen us when we were getting water. We went back down there because that's right by there. I meant a kid. So I tell you all this in case I'm murdered by a human. They did it. No, I don't really know that, but they did it. All right, I'm in. Let's get settled so we can read and eventually be terrified. Oh, I'm telling you, this space is getting, this shit's getting more and more spacious. Oh, maybe not. All right, let's do this. All right, so far only one bug. Where did you go? Cute little thing. Don't know where it went. No spiders. Well, we haven't really checked. I don't think we're going to. Oh, yeah, cool, huh? Or not, because I guess I've destroyed a piece of nature, but it's okay, because I say it is. Oh, and I think this is on an incline, which is terribly annoying. Oh, your blood rushes to your head. Let's see what it feels like with a pillow. Not too bad. Clothes off. So it'll start raining tomorrow around 1 p.m. So we should try to be in a vehicle by then, okay? It is kind of cool to look at all the silhouettes of the different insects and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So I didn't end up reading on the road. I was just reading about the Mueller testimony. But anyway, let's go to sleep. Good night.
But no, I don't check my messages. I don't get an alert about it. I don't find out about it. Subscribe. Subscribe for more.